There they are, the sheep. At least they're on the right side of the fence today. Okay, keep going with this run. So this is the plan to get at least some of the sheep. Now, I've got no idea if it'll work, but we're going to give it a crack and see what happens. So basically what I've done is I've welded up a set of spear gates and I've made them a bit tighter than you'd normally have for cattle. And then just grabbed some old gates out of the scrap metal heap and put together a bit of a pen. And for the last couple of weeks, I've had the lower half of those spears out. So sheep were able to come in and out freely, feed on the hay that we've been leaving in there. And there's also a lick block that you can just sort of see down there. That'll always give them a reason to come in and have a bit of a go. Now, unfortunately, I went running this morning past here and scared most of the sheep back elsewhere. But there is still a ewe with a couple of lambs around up here. So hopefully we can get them in, catch them, bring them back to the yards and domesticate them a bit. Yeah, so that's step one, catch the sheep. Step two, domesticate the sheep. Well, this is the next step. So catch them, then we put them in the yards. We're going to either just sell them straight out of there, or if they've got some lambs, we're going to try and domesticate them a bit. Keep them in the yards for a couple of weeks, feed them, get them friendly, get them used to being around people, being around the dogs, and yeah, not so scared. Then after that, we'll let them out into this paddock. So in the last week, my wife's been going around putting an electric wire around the bottom half of the fence. I actually still think that one's probably a little bit too high, but we'll give it a test run and see what happens. And the idea there is to try and domesticate the sheep a bit further, teach them that not to go near fences, not to try and push under fences. And if you do, you are going to get a little zap. So that's really the plan. And eventually we'll end up electrifying all the fences here. So they have this nice little sheep wire about that height or a little bit lower to stop animals going through it. And I think it's also going to work against the deer. We've got a lot of deer here, a heap of fallow deer. Like the numbers are just simply unbelievable. And yeah, I just think that hopefully having a few of these getting around might discourage them from going under fences. They can jump them. They are really good at jumping them. They almost hover, to be honest. They sort of jump up and just somehow hover and end up on the other side. But most of the time they are pushing under. So I think if we have a few more hot wires getting about, that might discourage them a bit and try and keep them off the property. Anyway, that's pretty well the plan. Catch them, tame them, and then put them back in the paddock, and maybe even bring in our own flock. Buy in a whole bunch of first cross ewes and join them with a terminal sire, and yeah, try and supplement the beef cattle a bit, have a foot in both camp. And look at that, the ewe that we caught yesterday has had a couple of lambs overnight. And I guess that's really what we're going for at the end of the day. We want to end up with having a bit of a sheep operation here to supplement the cattle operation. But I guess what we're more aiming for is some better behaved animals. So eventually that ewe will probably have to go, and we'll end up replacing her with a more well-behaved version, unless she can turn herself around and show that she's worth holding on to. She's a twinner, so that's a start. Anyway, I'm going to let these two go and get back to the rest of my jobs.